This week in the studio, I updated last week's painting, tested new pens, including a brush pen, explored color inspiration from 2 books, and created a still life that mixes roses with some hot fudge. From last week, the flowers, I did go ahead and add that little creamer, little miniature creamer. She's a little wonky, but it's in character with the style that we're doing, so I'm going to leave it. And I've added some ultramarine blue with some burnt umber, and I'm just warming up. See how purple that dried? So I'm going to warm that up. Here's a little close-up of the creamer that I put in, and then I changed the background to a little warmer color. And then my flowers are slowly dying. I wanted to show you that I cleaned and updated my toolkit palettes. This one this one is my gouache palette. Primary red, yellow, and blue, and a cooler version of the red, and then yellow ochre, sky blue, and then a secondary green and white, and that's just more of just a simple primary. And this one is my watercolor setup. I've kept my reds here, my yellows, blues. I've got some convenient colors. This is Moon Glow. I love Moon Glow for shadows and sometimes tree trunks actually. And this is a blue. And then earth color and buff and white. Actually, this is what this looks like. And then this is more landscape colors. I got this book, and it's Ian Finley's color chart book. And I kind of wanted to show you what that looked like inside. Let me bring you down. These are some of the colors that he uses when he's out urban sketching. Look at that tractor. And I've watched a lot of his videos, and he does keep most of his palettes. He keeps it pretty much to 4 colors. But if you're interested in going through his book, he definitely has a lot of color palettes that he's put together, and he shows you examples. 2 warms and 2 cools. And he gives tips. And there's a few sketching pictures in here too. Anyway, I thought you would enjoy seeing this book. I will show you this one because it is new, and I was pretty excited about this because it is a brush pen. Got Zebra Fudge brush pen. Oh, he looks like a dancer. Doesn't he? Look. The brush, the nib on this is, feels kind of like a sponge almost. Yeah, I definitely think this that is amazing. I love this pen. I love this pen so much. Okay, keeper. And I'm gonna put this in my art kit. Look at all those little funky characters you can make with this. And this is on the other end. It's just smaller. Oh, and you know what? This one is more brushy than the other. Is it waterproof? Okay, it's not waterproof, but it's not, I mean, you actually could use this and just put, like, it's not crazy running, you know what I mean? You can see that, look, I can just put their shadows underneath them so they're not walking in space. So I think when you're urban sketching and you just want some quick, like you see somebody walking by, you can just, you know, loosely put in them walking. Well, he looks like he's hunched over, doesn't he? Maybe he's going uphill. It's a tall journey for him. But if you just got the direction of where they're going, maybe that's a hat. Okay, we can't all be winners here, like, but most of these have turned out, right? So I'm gonna just put a blue mark so I'll know not completely waterproof. Okay, the next one I got was the Tombow. And this nib is, I don't know, can you see that? It's also kind of more like a brush, so you could get thick lines. I guess you could do the same thing with this, really. Okay, so the blue one is a harder tip. And the black one, softer tip. I think technically these are calligraphy brushes. Again, it ran just a little bit, so I'm going to put the blue mark on these so I'll know. They run with water. Not terrible, but they do. The other one I ordered is the Uniball Air. This tip, I mean, this feeling, it really is. I mean, I could see cross hatching with this. Definitely waterproof. Not moving at all. So all of these, I've got the blue mark, and I'm going to put in my blue holder. And they bled just a little, so I'll use them. I'm going to put them in that. So this is the fine liner graphics. This is also the graphic with 0.2, the finer. This is the Uniball Air. You can see just a touch of bleeding, but not bad. This is the Pigma graphic, Pigma Micron, the Faber-Castell, a touch of bleeding, but not terrible. The Copic multi-liner, the Faber-Castell brush pen, and this is the Sharpie pen. Again, a touch of bleeding, but not bad. So these are the ones that I'm gonna label as pink. I'm gonna put them in my pink cup that matches with my pink waterproof. So I'm gonna remember this. And then out of my 2 brush pens, the new one that I just bought, and then the Faber-Castell Pet brush pen. You can see that bleeds. And then the brush pen does not. And that's after 5 minutes of drying. I'm going to put all the ones that I know are not waterproof over here. We already know Tombow is water soluble. And then I'll put in the ones that are waterproof on this side. And this is the Uniball, the white ink. I'll put my small palette there, and then I'll put my 2 small palettes here, and then I'll put my sketchbook here, and now I'm pretty much ready to go out. Let me show you this book that my girls got me for Christmas. I did find it on Amazon, but this book gives you so many ideas in color palettes, and it is filled with inspiration on how a great still life composition. I've saved a, look at that. And this table, just the way that table is centered. And you know I love birds, so I love that. The color palette of this is so good, so fallish. The figs. Let's see, I've saved a couple for you to look at. Look at that blue. Like if you just did a monochromatic, you can see she's climbing up the little ladder. And look at this mood board. I love mood boards. I never make one, but I should. And I love that idea of half of it dark and then the other half real light. That could be a beautiful painting. Next week, I'm going to take some inspiration from this and set up a still life and go from there. Look at that painting. Let's save that one for you. So pretty. The colors of that. And just simple shapes, but it still works. You know what I've been dying to paint? A broken egg. I've never painted one before, but this morning we get fresh eggs, and this morning I've cracked one, and it's such a beautiful blue shell, and the yolk is so orange, and I thought, oh, that would be so fun to paint, but I was hungry, so I went ahead and made it. But maybe next week we can attempt to paint a raw egg. Save this page. Oh, I love that shape. And I saved, oh, the bird. Look at those beets. We have farmers market here on Saturdays, and we love to go and get fresh vegetables, and I haven't been, it's back open, I saw, so I'll have to go check it out. Also, look at this. Daniel loves all this hot chili stuff. You could do a whole painting centered around hot sauce. Fish. I love the old tea container. Oh, and the shapes. I love the shapes of these chairs. Look at that house. That is a lot of pattern. Look at that pattern. We have a building in Bay St. Louis that is painted kind of a mosaic like this. It's the 100, what is it? The 100 Man Museum? I don't know. I actually took a video of it last time I went. So if you're interested in this book, I will leave a link to it. It's just, I think it has some beautiful inspiration in it. I hope that glare's not too bad. And there's some roses. Okay, back to painting. Before I paint, you know, I love to do a contour drawing of whatever I'm painting. It just helps me loosen up before I get started. So this is just my one-line blonde contour drawing. It's actually my favorite part. So much fun. The colors I'm using today are yellow light, cobalt blue, ultramarine blue, raw umber, red light, red deep, and titanium white. So now I'm starting my next painting. This background I'm going to do a little different, and I sketched in with yellow instead of the blue that we did last week. But I don't want to waste my flowers, even though they're dying. But I'm going to use those as my prompts. Same as last week, I've just kind of blocked in my shadow first. Okay, blocking in is done. And I'll pick up on this tomorrow. Here I'm adding a background color that I will again go over with a darker color, but I like to work in layers in the background and wipe off with a baby cloth to reveal some of what's underneath as well. I've decided to add my little vase head in that little area. I felt like it needed something. I also used these water-soluble pencils to sketch in her face, and then when I go back with paint, the paint will kind of pick up that water-soluble pencil and create almost like a shading. I went back over the blue color with this dark olive, and now I am lightening that up a little bit with this muted green color, but still allowing some of the dark to show through as well. It just creates depth. Adding some details to my roses, but still keeping it loose, just where the light is hitting some of the petals. This is another reason to keep a baby wipe for when you spell your stuff wrong. that's all I'm gonna do this week on this. I loved painting the little vase head. It was fun to paint. That's another tip. Paint something you love to paint. I'm going to go wash my brushes out now. Another tip, not a tip, but just something if you didn't know. After you clean your brushes good, when you go to dry them, just dry them flat on a paper towel or towel instead of putting them like this in a jar, because you think it's dry, but the water will run into your ferrule and eventually it will destroy the wood and glue inside. I mean, I've had some of these brushes for 10, 15 years and I still use them. So if you take care of them, you can keep them a long time. So anyway, all right, that's it for this week. I will see you next week. I got the baby, which means I have to bring the next king cake next year, and I'm queen for the day, and I have good luck. I think I've gotten all I can get out of these flowers.